To be frank, a lot of nonsense has been written about Celtic calendars in recent years, but there is one Celtic calendar that is both ancient and authentic, and that is the Coligny Calendar. Hello, my name is morus-baird, and this is Celtic Source. 2,000 years ago, the Celtic tribes of Gaul had just come out of one of the bloodiest periods in their history. As I said in the previous video, between 58 and 51 BC, Julius Caesar had fought his way around present-day France, killing and enslaving many hundreds of thousands of people. In the generation that followed the devastating conquest, the Gaulish tribes were assimilated into the Roman state, ultimately becoming citizens of the new Roman Empire. The Druids in particular would have found themselves living under an immensely powerful state that essentially wanted to eradicate them. Augustus, the first Roman emperor, outlawed Druidic practice, and later emperors continued to oppress them with great zeal. One suggestion of how life changed for the Druids of Gaul is found in the Coligny Calendar, the single most complex artefact ever found written in the Gaulish language. It was created sometime in the century following the Roman conquest, at a time when Druids across the Celtic-speaking territories faced the very real possibility of extermination. Caesar claims that the Celts of his day, a few generations before the Coligny Calendar was made, never wrote things down, that they had greater faith in memory and preserving knowledge orally. But changing times make new demands upon a culture, and what was once considered durable, well-preserved oral knowledge could quickly seem fragile. Perhaps for the first time ever, the Druids became keenly aware of how precarious some of their more specialised learning was. Was this the reason why the Coligny Calendar was commissioned? The text was inscribed on one of the most durable materials Celtic culture could manufacture, a sheet of bronze, 1 metre high by 1.5 metres long. It was then inscribed with Roman letters, a funny choice you may think, but it's likely that the Celts didn't have their own writing system. On those few occasions when they did want to write something down, they just borrowed the writing system that was closest to hand, be that Phoenician or Greek, or in this case, Roman. We don't know what happened to the calendar, but for about 1800 years it remained buried. In 1897, just under half of it was found in pieces, buried under an old cherry tree in Coligny, eastern France, not far from Geneva and the border with Switzerland. One of the most surprising things about the Coligny Calendar is its depth of complexity. It does far more than count days. It also calculates and synchronises the orbits of the moon with the sun in different ways, and does so with a remarkable degree of accuracy. Technically, it's a lunisolar calendar. It aims to synchronise the orbits of both the moon and the sun. There are several units used in the calendar, the smallest being the day-night cycle. 5 of these days are then organised into 5-day weeks, and 6 of these weeks makes up a lunar month of either 29 or 30 days. 12 of these lunar months make up 1 year of 354 days, and 5 of these years, plus 2 extra months, makes up 1 whole cycle of the calendar. It's also been theorised that this 5-year cycle operates in a greater 30-year cycle, that being 6 times around the whole calendar. Even though the calendar doesn't synchronise the orbits of sun and moon perfectly as it's recorded, recent research shows that through the use of small wooden pegs inserted into holes in the calendar, the whole scheme can be finely tuned to achieve an almost perfect synchronisation of the moon and the sun. With a few simple adjustments, the calendar can also calculate other synchronised cycles, such as the 19-year 235-month Metonic cycle, or the 223-month Saros eclipse cycle, or the orbit of Venus. It's unclear if there are any other further cycles and orbits hidden within the Coligny Calendar, but the calculations that it makes possible show this to be an incredible feat of intellect, made even more stupendous by the fact that this is probably an oral calendar in origin, memorised and used purely as a mental tool. If this is the case, then the Coligny Calendar is testimony to the power and sophistication of a Celtic oral tradition. It's also another sign that far from being uncivilised barbarians as depicted by the Romans, these were people of profound intellect, and they were not only learned, but preserved their learning and expressed it in a purely oral way. What do you think? Is this a skewed interpretation of the evidence, or does it chime with what we know of ancient history? You can download the different sources I've used to make this video from celticsource.online. just follow the link below. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, please like and share, and if you want to see more, subscribe and click the bell. Diolch yn fawr iawn.